Hello everyone, my name is Ms. DiFiello. I had a pacemaker implanted in 2015 for complete heart block. I have since lost about 40 pounds, run 4 half marathons, and I am currently training for a marathon. Today is Sunday. I am wrapping up another week of training, and I'd like to share a little bit about how my week went and what I learned this week. So I started the week on Monday pretty run down. I was feeling sick. One thing my dog's barking at the neighbor's dog. So one thing I have noticed since getting a pacemaker, it's as though I thought that there would be this me that was sick and this me after I got a pacemaker, and the me after the pacemaker would be like a regular person who no longer had heart disease. And it doesn't work that way. There is like if there's a limited amount of energy, basically. Like if there was a me that lived in an alternate universe, this is how much energy, that an alternate universe where that me didn't have heart disease, didn't have AV heart block, didn't need a pacemaker, the amount of energy she would have would be like right here. And then there's me pre-pacemaker, and then there's me with the pacemaker, and my energy is like obviously not the same as someone who never had AV heart block, but it's not the same as me before I got the pacemaker. So if my energy level starts already smaller, and then I have something like I add marathon training into the mix, well, obviously that energy level gets smaller, and then like I start my cycle and then the energy level gets smaller. And then like last week on a run, it was really grassy out. I've shared in other videos that I have an exercise-induced allergy to grass. I didn't go into full anaphylaxis, but I did get like a small rash on my legs, so my energy level gets smaller. And I actually woke up Monday morning with kind of like a little bit of a cold. My husband actually had some pretty, bad like sinus cold symptoms, but I didn't really have any symptoms except I woke up like, oh man, I don't feel like I slept last night. I actually called into work, so energy level smaller. Having to call into work is, it's not something I like to do. It's not something I typically do. Giving in to not feeling well is not something I like to do. Obviously, I like to pretend like I'm not walking around any different than anyone else. And then adding into the mix that, marathon training is supposed to be about getting healthier, and if it causes me to have to take sick days, then it's kind of counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. But anyway, I took a rare sick day, but then it started to feel better toward the end of that day. I did a treadmill run at the end of that day for 4 miles. I did it slow, but whatever, I got through it. And then just kind of early in that week, really run down, like feeling like, man, I feel like I haven't gotten any sleep. But by Wednesday, I was feeling a lot better. So Tuesday, I still did like a 1 mile run and went to my grit class. Wednesday, I ran 6 miles. I felt awesome. That was one of the best, not like time-wise 10Ks that I've ever run, but it was just, I felt really good. I ran it outside. I live in South Mississippi. The heat index is ridiculous. The humidity is ridiculous, but that was a really good run. And then Thursday and Friday, I did my 1 mile run while my kids were in jiu-jitsu, and then I went to my grit class while my older son was in jiu-jitsu. And then Saturday, I did a 12-mile long run. And that run went pretty well. So all in all, I'm gonna do 2 to 3 miles today for a recovery run, which puts me at about a 27, 28 mile week. Finish the week pretty good. So I'm learning that about myself in this marathon training. I wanna say like there was this me before the pacemaker, this me after the pacemaker, and this me after the pacemaker is a normal, healthy person. And as much as I can fight it, that isn't entirely true. I am still limited by the fact that I had AV block. Another thing that I learned this week, I have 2 goals, and I've shared that on these videos a lot. I have a goal of running this marathon. I also have a goal of running a sub 2 hour half. That's really kind of why I set into the marathon. I'm at my personal best time for a half marathon is 2 hours and 15 minutes. But I actually I run pretty close, like up to like 8 miles. It looks like, oh, I'm pretty close to running that sub 2 hour that I'm aiming for. And then I fall off pretty hard after 8 miles. So I'm kind of going up in miles to marathon distance to try to increase my endurance and get closer to that sub 2 hour that I'm working toward. But actually I have another goal of maintaining a healthy weight. It started out as weight loss for me. And now, I'll go back and forth, gaining and losing like 10 pounds here and there, but really at this point, it is about maintaining a healthy weight for me. And I have noticed, mostly in making these videos for YouTube, which has been really good. I don't have a lot of people watching my videos. I don't have very many subscribers. But it's been very helpful to me to get my story out there. It's like it solidifies that I am a runner, that I am somebody who focuses on healthy eating, and that isn't always perfect, but for the most part, that is part of who I am. But one thing that I've noticed when I go back and I watch my videos or I edit my videos is that I have the goal of weight loss and the goal of running a marathon. Oftentimes when it comes to diet and nutrition can be two very conflicting goals. One thing that I have noticed, and I want to mention it here, like if you watch my videos, just be aware of this when you're trying to implement this, or if you're going to use some of my ideas to implement it into your own training, which I'm certainly not advocating that anybody do that. What I'm really just doing is trying to share my journey. This is what I did for exercise today. This is what I ate today. But one thing that I noticed is that around my runs, especially my long runs, I will eat things like peanut butter. I'll eat sugar, like I have Stroop waffles that have honey. And then mid-run, I'll have goo. I recently started switching to candy corn and Swedish fish mid-run to help get me through a long run. And after that run, I'll have things like, it was like a healthier version of a muffin, but I had a pumpkin muffin, it didn't have like eggs and butter and all of that stuff in it, but it certainly had sugar. I noticed that I eat like that. I eat high carb, lots of sugar, peanut butter, things that I otherwise in my diet almost never eat. And so like as the day progressed in that video, you could see like I was eating popcorn, I was eating, like I did eat pasta, but it was kind of like made with a healthier sauce. Like my diet very much is conflicting, like very high caloric dense, sugary foods around my runs. And then the rest of my diet is very clean and very healthy. Like not 100%. I do have the occasional treat, glass of wine, dark chocolate, but for the most part, there's like the diets around my runs and the rest of my diet, and they are very conflicting. And that's okay. Like I said in one of my other videos, like when you're approaching your fitness goals, you just need to start somewhere, and then you need to troubleshoot. And obviously around long runs, higher calories, sugary foods, what I need, and then the rest of my day I don't need that, so I eat differently. That works for me. That's what I recommend definitely when you're trying to get healthy. You find what works for you, and you don't apologize for it, and you don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Another thing that I learned about myself today, I really can't believe I'm about to share this on YouTube. So I learned, and I'm very grateful, I have developed a 1 mile loop around my house, and I can make a beeline for my house pretty quickly. So I ran this weekend with my sister. She is training for a half marathon in December, so she's kind of in pre-training mode. So she didn't run all of the miles with me, but she ran some of them. Actually a good bit of them. I think she left at like maybe mile 7 or mile 8. And then my son actually woke up and joined us for the first 2 miles, which was pretty cool. But she can't really handle the heat the way that I can. So on Saturdays, like I have a job that makes me get up at like 4:30 in the morning to get to work on time. And so on Saturdays, I absolutely love to sleep until I wake up. I might start my long run at like 8 or 9, but that means that we're running into some pretty hot weather by, you know, about 11 or 12 o'clock, because we do live in South Mississippi and it's July. So it's hot and humid, and she struggles with the heat. So she asked if we could get started a little earlier Saturday morning. So I reluctantly said sure, which means I think we got up at like 5:30 and we started our run at about 7. And since it kind of changed my routine a little bit on Saturday, I did not poop before my long run. So yeah, like maybe in mile 6, I had to kind of make a beeline for the house to make up for that big, huge error on my part. So another thing I learned this week is that you should absolutely never 100%, and you should definitely train to get to where you're good for race day. 100%, no matter what. Do not go out for your long run before you poop. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. I know you'll just hear me talk about my marathon training and my struggles and my tips along the way. Until the next video, keep moving and remember how lucky you are.